We are Team Entity, and this is our presentation on the cerebral palsy communication device mounts.
So cerebral palsy is a disorder that is caused by trauma to the brain around the time of birth that affects not only the muscle tone, but also the electric signals from the brain to the muscles. It affects 17 million people worldwide, and a fourth of them are nonverbal, so this means they can't communicate via conventional methods and often need assistance through devices and other methods to communicate. Often they are paired with communication tablets, and these can enable them to communicate and share their voice where they previously could not.
Okay, so as Adam mentioned, this is a common example of a communication device. These cost anywhere between $3,000 and $7,000, which for many families is a lot of money. In addition, having just this device isn't enough. As Adam mentioned again, the cerebral palsy causes muscle tone and inability to control certain muscles. So the child or the person with CP would actually not be able to hold the device on their own, and thus would need a mount or some sort to hold it for them.
So to make this device usable for people with cerebral palsy, companies have designed mounts like this one by Logan Tech. And as we went to the United Cerebral Palsy, or UCP, they told us that this was currently their best mount that they have, and that's available. So this mount currently costs $325, and added on to the average cost per device sets you back approximately $5,000. And while this mount is sturdy and durable and adjustable, this mount also weighs approximately 5 pounds.
Now, this probably doesn't seem like too big a deal to all you parents in the audience, but considering the fact that a lot of the vehicles that these people with CP use, like they use walkers and strollers, they're not actually that heavy. As a matter of fact, the lightest one is 7 pounds. And so attaching a mount that sticks out from the side of it gives it the high potential to tip over and potentially break the device that the mount is holding. And so one of our big goals was to design one of these mounts that was light enough so that the walkers and strollers wouldn't tip over when it's attached to it.
So most of these devices are made out of steel or aluminum, and albeit they are quite durable and heavy and strong, they oftentimes suffer from heaviness. So we substituted PVC for these tube beams, and this often weighs less than a pound per foot of tubing, whereas steel can weigh up to 10 pounds per foot of tubing. And so PVC has the sturdiness and durability needed to hold these devices and can support up to 542 pounds per square inch before breaking. So we think it is definitely durable enough for the job.
Okay, now I want to direct your attention to this device. This is another device holder that we saw in use at UCP. So as the image shows, it's supposed to be able to be opened with one hand. However, when we actually went to UCP and were sort of playing around with it, we found that it took either 2 hands or sometimes even more to open it, and it was not very easy to use.
And so we came up with this mount. As you can see, it's made of cardboard, which is very durable and lightweight and very much available. And we also decided to use Velcro so that the iPad could easily slide in and out.
Okay, and so this is a mount that we saw in use again at the UCP, and when we were playing around with it, I wanted to direct your attention to this part right here. So we thought that by turning this knob, it would just loosen this bolt, or joint, sorry. However, when we were like turning it and trying to figure out how to adjust it, we found that it actually loosened and tightened all 3 at the same time, which we found was extremely problematic. For example, if you were just trying to adjust one piece, the whole mount would start to crumble or move around, so that was not very easy. So we came up with the idea to, as you can see, Adam has a hinge joint that also has a swivel, so it can function the same way as a ball joint would, but it has one point of adjustability rather than affecting all three.
And so to actually mount this device socket to the arms that we had, we came up with a sliding locking mount with a pin. Now, it's obviously not completely prototype. There would have been something to retain this piece at the bottom, and so when you slid it, you just had to remove the pin and it would slide up, and then you could remove the entire device socket from the mount very easily, which is nice because this will continue to offer protection even when you take it off.
Okay, so current clamps on devices these days are definitely durable enough and do their job well. Unfortunately, they suffer from a lack of compatibility because we saw vehicles at UCP that not only had cylindrical but elliptical and square beams that these clamps needed to conform to, as well as these clamps are very uneasy to remove, adjust, etc. So we designed this clamp out of layered laser cut wood with injected silicon caulk in there to more easily grip the beam, and this would be held in place with a counter spring, but the quick release is as easy as just opening it as an intuitive clamp, and does not require any screws or adjusting points, more so than just squeezing it. So this would be our design in total all put together. As you can see, the clamp, the main rotating hinge joint, the slot release, and then also the device holder. And so that would be how it would look finally.
So for the bottom part there, how does it actually like stay shut onto the walker or?
we were going to include a spring, and I did not, because of a safety reason. I was going to extract one out of one of those heavy-duty clamps that they have, but I saw that when I was to remove that, that would fly out and hit me, so I was a little bit scared to do that, so
Because I'm just wondering when it's held this way, if it would actually like stay onto the surface.
these clamps are made to hold pieces together that are being glued and often, hold the weight of stuff, so
Okay.
it is definitely.
So currently, the way it is right now wouldn't necessarily be able to be held onto something. However, with the included spring, it would have that pressure.
Gotcha. And what's that material in there?
This is silicon caulk, bath and kitchen, mostly non-toxic. I selected that because it is used around eating and bathing, so it is definitely safe for humans when dry, as long as it's not ingested. But yeah.
And can you open that again for me? Okay. And where would you put like the pin? Did you think about?
Attaching.
Oh,
like
yeah,
potentially we would have a slot or something that could go on the side of the device socket that would easily store it.
Okay.
As well as a string coming off of it so that they could have it near them rather than having to reach all the way.
Okay. The Velcro part of it can that be done one-handed? So it's on the mount.
Yes.
Does that go on?
No, we didn't
Gotcha.
end up finishing that part.
Okay, no, that's fine. And then the cardboard, is that the final material that you were thinking of using as the holder, the cardboard?
Yes, so
Okay.
actually,
To make that
the cool thing about the cardboard is that you could easily replace it. So if you dropped it, cardboard does have a lot of impact resistance, so it'll take the pressure or take the impact off of the device. And once it's used, it has less of that. But since it's so cheap, it could probably be replaced extremely easily. So,
Also, when painted, it does
Yeah.
have a lot of waterproofing properties, and that can stand up to the elements.